Hello, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who is watching us. Welcome to our webinar series, More Water to Baja California South, an effort designed to transmit the solutions related to water to face the scarcity of it in Baja California Sur. Welcome, everyone. It is very important that you follow this transmission. This is the fourth podcast. There are 3 previous ones that you can also check in our social networks. Today, we have water harvesting from the atmosphere and climatic change. Very transcendental subjects for our state. Both subjects get together to show us a very important paradigm. It's great to have you connected here. I'm going to welcome now to all the audience. If you can comment on Facebook, on our social networks where you are following us from, we would love who is there and where they come from. Please chat, write to us, etc. Let me remind you that we are having simultaneous translation through YouTube. If you want to follow the webinar in English, I guess that's me. Hello, everyone. And let's go ahead. So, the Baja Coastal Institute, CONAGUA, and the University of Sciences and Water from Baja California Sur. Here, let me introduce you our speakers today, who are very related. They are specialists in the subject. First of all, Doctora Antonina Ivanova Boncheva. She is a researcher and a professor of the University of Baja California South. Welcome, Doctor. Okay. So let me introduce you to the engineer Mauricio Bonilla from Peru. Oh, I'm sorry, Abel Cruz from Peru. That was correct. Procedemos entonces ahora a presentar al ingeniero Mauricio Bonilla. So we have engineer Mauricio Bonilla. He's the president and director of a company called Innovaqua. Welcome, Mauricio. Hello, good evening. Pleasure. Greetings. So, let's go ahead presenting the first speaker, which is Dr. Antonina Ivanova. Let me tell you an extract of her curriculum. She is researcher and professor at the University of Baja California South, and she is a member of the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, Doctor in Economy by the University of Mexico, cum laude, postdoctorate in Safety and Peace by Bradford, United Kingdom. She researches international cooperation, financing of, for climate change, sustainable tourism and development. She is the writer of 25 books and 200 articles. She is going to talk about a very interesting subject today, water and climatic change. So it is an honor to have you here with us. Welcome. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone in I am going to share with you a little presentation that precisely is a result of a report on the water and temperature rise. Here you have how the temperature has risen and how there have been some ups and downs in the 2000 last years, but since 2020 we have a very strong change, and it's because of the gases with greenhouse effect. So only the elevation of the temperature is 1.1 Celsius compared to the pre-industrial period. So one of the most important impacts is on the water resources. 5 years ago in South Africa, it was forecast that for 2010, the cities of La Paz and Los Cabos are also going to be. Let's see how we manage these indicators of climatic change. So we have temperature, which is higher now, at least in the 2000 million years. We have the sea level rise that has the fastest rates, at least in the last 3,000 years. And why is this important? Like for states like BCS, which depends only on aquifers, underwater aquifers, because this water is getting salinized and it's impossible to use for human use. It's also defrozen the ice in the poles, north and south. That means that we are losing amounts of fresh water, drinking water that we have in these places. Not only this, accumulations of water, but also the glaciers in the mountains, like in the Himalayas, the Andes, etc. All this is affecting very much the water resources. And with this, we are seeing that there are very strong rains in places because cyclones are getting closer to the Earth. So that means that because the Earth is so hot, and also we see that in some places water is completely scarce, and so this because of these droughts, there are fires also devastating the forests. In the ocean we have an acidification, so very important impacts. It says that the energy is the most important thing to treat with regards to okay. So with regards to underground water. So what is very important to treat, to get adapted to impacts, is exactly the water. The rain, the droughts, the ice, snow, and also the floodings that are because of the sea rise, as because of changes of the river basins, etc. So what's happening with the water cycle? With a higher temperature, atmosphere can maintain an evaporation much faster. Both of the places with ice So, which means that there's going to be much stronger rains, and in this sense, we have much stronger rains, but at the same time, because these rains are concentrated in certain seasons like the monsoons, there's intensification of dry season and droughts. In this sense, we should see as well the risk related to this. And before, because also we have also the scarcity of water, very high risk, because the borders that we have with the Paris treatment that they were reviewing, and in COP27 in the international conference in Egypt. So only in this frontier that we have to see if we can reach, the regions can experiment 20% less water than needed for agriculture, etc. Risks for the safety of getting enough food. All the nations that are close to the coasts, like Baja California South and the islands in the Pacific that are going to be the first climatic migrants, are having risks that are very strong. We also have an increase of 2 degrees Celsius. If we have an increase of more than 200 Celsius, it's going to be much worse. We are already suffering the impact of drought.
¿Me pueden mover la diapositiva, por favor, porque no se mueve? Bueno. No se movía porque era la última.
Okay. So she was asking about changing the slide, but this was the last one. So thank you very much. She's finished now. Thank you very much.
En relación al tema de la incertidumbre y el cambio en el clima. Vamos a dar paso entonces a nuestro siguiente ponente, en este caso me refiero al ingeniero Abel Cruz Gutiérrez.
Now we are going to introduce Ingeniero Abel Cruz. Let me tell you a little bit about him.
Abel Cruz es un ingeniero peruano.
He's a Peruvian engineer. He has told, he's connected from Lima. He has an impressive CV related to the fog catchers. He's the inventor, or he can be considered the inventor of fog catchers. Now he's the president of an association, of the movement Sinagua, Without Water, and he's been in many places talking about his inventions. He's going to talk to us now about fog catchers managed by the society, by this community. Hello. About 40 years ago, since I was a kid, I started to try to solve the problem of lack of water. There's this village which is a bit lower than Machu Picchu, Peru, and he started this system there. Before, we used to catch the rain water and take it to the reservoir. So since 40 years, we have been promoting this technology called Atrapañol, And we have started with the water rain catchers. This is an NGO created about 12 years ago with the aim of helping a lot of families in different places of the country. We have started also to leave Peru to go to Chile, Colombia, Argentina, all Latin America. We've been giving conferences in universities. I was also in Mexico. We have been in Monterrey. We have won the prize of Monterrey. And so he's looking. Yeah, he's all the prizes are there on the wall here. Next slide. We have found 4 types of solutions. Water from the air, which we harvest through some turbines that catch the water from the atmosphere. Then we have the water from the underground, so we carry out some studies. Another Yaku Tapui, which means water in Quechua, which our ancestors started water harvesting. Incas also used other kinds of technologies and water recharges. The fog catchers are very economic and a very easy installation. It's very friendly with the environment, and we desalinize. It's like we do it in a perpendicular way, and like that we start catching the water. We also have complementary technologies like intelligent meters, treatment of residual waters, optimization of the use of water, biodigesters, and ecological chlorum. This is the fog catcher. It's like a mesh. It has like 40% of space, and they exist everywhere in the world. They use them in a spontaneous way for many things in construction. They also to make shades. We studied and monitored and started to install these conventional systems, and also created different models. So here you can see, for instance, the mesh are installed in deserts, and they catch the water, and that gets to the tanks. By the time the tanks are full, it goes to a reservoir of 150 cubic meters. So all this water is stored and distributed for agriculture, to have organic agriculture. Nowadays, we are getting water for human use. Climate changes are happening very fast, and there's years with no water, then there's rain where there shouldn't be, then there's drought, ice, etc., things that shouldn't be there. Here you can see up left, this is in the desert of Atacama. You can see we are getting all the water to a reservoir where we have 250 fog catchers trapping every particle from 200 to 400 liters per day. So you have 100 fog catcher, you can get 20 to 30 cubic meters of water, and then you can take it to a reservoir, and then you start filtrating it and dropping. On the right, you can see when the fog catchers, we got that all those woods. And lower, you can also see in another desert, Pampa Pontor, to the north of Lima. And to the right down, these are some hills. It's a way of catching water. The other subject is that water recharges. What we are doing is that those waters coming from the snowing, from the higher parts of the mountains, there we are installing ochas, which are like through a dike. We distribute the water for agriculture in the lower areas. So here you can see a lot of desert. Lima is built in a desert. It's the second city built in the desert. It's was not so. With these fog catchers, you can see that in the lower areas we are starting with agriculture. You see grapes, and further there are vegetables. So we also called water harvesting, called Yacutarco. In the Sierra, we have a lot of lagoons that are dry. So what we do is get like all the torrential rains. We start harvesting water in these lagoons. They are natural, so they are dry with the climatic change. So what we do is that the water and fog water, we get it to the lower parts of the land, so we can harvest even 3 times a year agriculture. So the fog catcher systems is like you install 100, 200 plates of mesh called amulas. So we make this kind of dikes so that in the lower parts we have like springs. We start getting springs or water ice. So we start harvesting water, and we let it run in a natural way to the lower parts. It takes about 8 months to get to the lower parts towards the sea. So I have written 2 books. One is called The Water Catcher, and the other one, The Ones Without Water, A Fight Without Stop. So we are filming, and we are going to produce a series from England through Skype, a look from the sky at the years at the 50s. These are some of the prizes that we have won up to this moment, and we have given conferences in the best universities in the world, and also to the means of communication of all the countries. So these are the alliances that we have made with Peruvian and international companies. So we have visited all these places in the world. And thank you very much. And I'll be looking forward to some questions. Thank you.
Ingeniero Abel, estupenda
Thank you very much.
También nos coloca un panorama sobre cómo esta tecnología realmente tiene una procedencia ancestral.
So you are giving us an idea that this is a technology that is ancestral. So we have to be self-sufficient always. Thank you very much.
Saludos hasta el Perú. Vamos a proseguir entonces con nuestro cronograma del día de hoy, pero antes de ello, paso a dar saludos a todas las personas que nos están siguiendo
going to greet everybody who is following us in social networks. Thank you very much. The Commission of the States, the State Commission of Water is following us, CONAGUA, and we have several of our speakers from the previous podcasts. Thank you, and please keep on writing to us, sending us your comments. So let's go ahead with the next presenter. This is Engineer Mauricio Bonilla, Director of the company Baja. Briefly, what he's done, he's the director of this company, Baja. He developed very young, well, very young, like all his team. He designed Nube, a very specific home appliance. Check it out. It's a water generator. His mission is that in 10 years, Nube will become a home appliance typical of any home, making obsolete water bottles, etc. He is going to talk about a specific subject today, Nube generating water from the air. Go ahead, ingeniero.
Muy buenas noches a todos. Gracias por la invitación.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your invitation. Pleasure to be here.
Bueno, vamos a avanzar a la que sigue. Listo. Los pilares de
these pillars,
lo que se compone mi vida ha sido la tecnología e innovación. Inicié desde mis 12 años mi primer negocio, basado en estos pilares. Y como todo chamaco,
I based my businesses in these two pillars, technology and innovation. So it's been working in projects in which at some point we want to have continuity, and they became the pillars of Innovacqua. Because all the experiences and all the relations made in the way and all the knowledge acquired made me, at being 22 years old, create this company that now works with 46 countries. I'm very happy. Something very important for us, and first of all, is my main role is to look really very well after this technology. It's the most important in my organization. So we have understood very well the way we have to present it to each I am in the middle. I am called I like to consider myself the techie, the one that generates technology. So to create like a little robot to clean your flat, or if you want to have a little sound system. So I like with technology to make my home stay more innovative and comfortable. So I would like to show you this video.
Aquí estamos en espera del video.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Lo entiendo, se está cargando. Está pesadito.
Tal vez es eso. Si no, puede seguir usted conversando, ingeniero Mauricio, mientras se carga alguna otra cuestión adicional.
So, while the video is getting recharged, can you tell us something? Just one. So, but I'd like to show the video and not get ahead. Here we go. This is the Earth. Since the existence of life, animals and people used to take water from the rivers. But along the times, because of the development of civilization, it has been the natural cycle of water has been corrupted. Now rainwater gets polluted when it comes through the air. Water is not absorbed by the earth since there's pavements and buildings, and at the same time it pushes all the rubbish with it. That's the first thing during hurricanes and other problems is water. So lack of water, there's panic. Panic makes people buy stuff non-stop, and water is the first thing that we lack. And there's also been drought. People use water without measuring consequences in the long term. I am Nube Prime, and I'm sending you this message so future generation will have water. That's why we came to the earth. Our mission is simple: solve the problem of water through our technology, and together we are going to manage it. Revolution has already started. Nube, generator of water. Free sending everywhere in the world. Okay, now let's get back to the presentation. So in the video, we deal with water problems, and with the Nube technology, it's a way of solving it. But we do it in a way that for people that like all the techie stuff, like they like robots and this kind of voice, etc. But we do it that way to reach people so that our technology doesn't offer resistance. So people that care for their kids, that going to school and when they tell them that plastic is the enemy, and then kids see that everybody is using plastic everywhere. So this kind of family that we call the ecological family have conscientious values, ecological values. Another niche that we deal with besides ecological families and techies are those people that think that the earth, the world is going to end. So there are a lot of our clients are those that ask people for money to go to a cabin and show them how they can survive in a post-apocalyptic world. So there's families more and more worried, there's more and more panic, and we are planning this solution, which can be from your own home or an office or even at an industrial level. It can make even 10,000 liters a day. So we want to our company is concerned with the satisfaction that our clients have. So So we need to tell the requisites and the characteristics of so that people. So this is very important for us, for my administration. We don't want people to be disillusioned, and that has a lot to do with technology. And any person that wants to promote technology or innovation has to be very careful with that, with over expectation, because you might have a very good solution, but requisites are not adequate for that kind of clients, or also because you don't want to lose your clients. You go to give different expectations that you cannot achieve. So then when you have negative comments, then it is a bad idea. So it would be our fault that this technology doesn't reach future generations. So in Innovaqua, we have compromise with future generations, and we want to improve the technology. Also very important to be very transparent and very clear to explain how far we can get with this system. So sometimes 30% of our machinery doesn't work. So there was this case a few years ago. We closed a distributor that had a lot of influence in an area with many relations. So we said, can you show us how you can support us? So but then there were oversales. He reached Zacatecas with this technology, and over there it is not efficient. It makes you use a lot of electricity versus limited water harvesting. So he started selling in Zacatecas, in a place where we don't have any publicity, or when people contact us, we tell them, no, we don't recommend our technology here. But this guy did it, and then we started getting in trouble. We started getting criticism, and researching, we realized that this guy was not doing a good job selling us, promoting our technology. So we have to be very careful. We have to make sure whoever promotes our technology knows, and that way we have been growing a bit, being careful with the narrative, publicity, sales, the reach, and also the attention to our clients. So having said this, let's go back a little bit, see what is the problem with the water. Most of you will know what the problematic is, but okay, 1 billion trillion liters. I want to tell you, the world, the earth is full of water, but most of it is salt water. 29% is underground water, 70% is frozen, and so this frozen water is being defrosted and it's getting mixed with the ocean water. So whatever reserve we had in the ice, now it is getting salty as well. Salinized. Sorry. In Mexico, we get 450
de los
cubic
cuales
kilometers of water a year,
53%
of
se
which
evapora. Y ese
%73
es el ciclo natural del
evaporates.
agua. Sale el
And that
sol,
this is the natural
calienta
cycle
la
of
tierra,
water.
calienta el agua que está al aire
The sun
libre, se
comes
empieza a
out,
evaporar.
it
Entonces esto incluye el agua de las
warms
presas.
up the water,
Entonces,
and then it starts
yo como
evaporating.
en Monterrey,
In
consciente
Monterrey,
de los problemas que tuvimos del
I'm
agua,
conscious of
más
the
que buscar
problems we
un
have with
culpable,
water.
o si le
More than
queremos
look for
buscar un
someone
culpable, podríamos
guilty,
decir
or
que es el aire, es la misma
uh, I would
evaporación que
like to
se
say
llega al
it's
aire
the
y
air,
nos quita
it's
esa humedad
evaporation,
para que llueva en
and
un lugar
the
vacío
air
donde a nadie le
takes out
importe, ¿no?
that
Entonces, por eso
humidity.
cada
That's
vez
why
tenemos más vapor
each time we
porque
have
está
more
chocando contra el
steam,
techito del
because
efecto invernadero del calentamiento
it
global, que es
is
el CO2.
crashing
Entonces,
against
todo ese calor
the
que tenemos
CO2, and all that heat that we have
está generando que haya más
is
calor, que haya
generating
más vapor.
more
Entonces, podemos
more
llegar a
heat and
pensar
more steam.
que entre más calentamiento global,
So the
más
more
vapor y va a haber más
global
lluvia.
warming,
Pero
the
la
more
parte más
steam
importante
and
de la
more
presentación
rain. But no, the most important part
es este slide que le estoy presentando, que
is
es el
this
de la
light here,
precipitación desde hace unos años
which
para
is
atrás
the
hacia el futuro.
rainfall
¿En dónde está
from
lloviendo?
since a few years
En
ago
el área que está lila
towards
es
the
en donde más
future.
está lloviendo. Entonces, si lo
So in
comparamos
the
en el
area that
mundo,
is purple
en
is
las
where
zonas
it
donde
is
hay
raining the
más
most.
crisis del agua,
The places in the
pueden
earth where
regresar
there
la
is more
presentación,
water
por favor.
crisis.
En
Estamos,
las zonas donde...
ingeniero Mauricio, estamos muy cortitos de tiempo, un minutito más y cerramos la
De acuerdo,
presentación, por favor.
lo voy a
Muchísimas
cortar
gracias.
rápido. Entonces, de la gráfica que vimos anteriormente, la
What
precipitación
in the
hacia las
graphic
zonas de
that
la
you
crisis del agua, pues está muy
saw
bien.
before,
Está lloviendo en las
you could
zonas
see clearly
donde
that it
no
is
podemos
raining in
aprovechar
the
esa agua
areas
de lluvia
where
y por eso estamos
we
teniendo
cannot
esta
make
crisis
any use
hídrica,
of
¿no?
that water.
Entonces, sin mencionar el tema de las lisadoras, que yo
So
estoy totalmente en contra con ellas por la generación que se salmuera y para no atrasarnos más, el dato importante
I
por lo que se justifica que el
so a very
futuro
important detail
de la crisis del agua es la
i-
generación de agua al aire, es porque en la atmósfera hay
is
12.900
because
kilómetros
in the
cúbicos de
atmosphere
agua, de los
there
cuales solo
are
2 se consumen a nivel
12,900
global.
cubic
Y lo
kilometers of
interesante de
water.
esto es que también el
And the
calentamiento global
interesting
está
part
generando más
is that
temperatura y está
global
haciendo que el aire pueda
warming is
retener más agua. Aquí en
making
esta gráfica
the
podemos
air
ver que
retain
conforme se
more
van
water.
incrementando los grados,
So
pues se
as
va
the
incrementando
degrees
más
are
la
going up,
capacidad
the
que puede retener el aire
capacity
de agua.
of
Entonces, el
air
principal objetivo que nosotros tenemos, tanto
retention
en mineras como
of
empresa,
water
y lo que
retention by
quisimos
the air
comunicar
is
es que hay que
increasing. So
aprovechar
by our
esa
company,
humedad que se está
what we are
evaporando,
saying
ese
is that we have
70%
to
que se
use that
evapora
humidity that
antes
is
de que se
being
la lleve el
generated, that
viento, para que
73%
llueva
that
en un lugar en
evaporates,
donde no hay nada.
so that we can
Muchas
take
gracias.
advantage of it. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias, ingeniero Mauricio
Thank you
Bonilla.
very
Muy
much, engineer.
interesante su perspectiva que nos plantea, obviamente, toda esta evolución que ha tenido la compañía y todos los aspectos que se deben de
Very
tratar al
interesting,
momento
the
de
evolution of
emprender
your
y sobre
company,
todo atacar un tema que nos
and
compete a
also
todos, ¿no?
to
Y
deal
qué
with
bonito es
a
el
subject
proyecto,
that
sin duda invitamos a todo
is
el público a
important
que
to
lo
all of
siga,
us,
a que nos
and
sorprenda.
it's a beautiful
Nube
project. And
generando
we
agua
are
del
inviting
aire desde
everyone that
Baja.
is
Muchísimas
following
gracias,
to
ingeniero Mauricio.
consult
Y
with you.
también saludamos a toda la audiencia que nos está
And
siguiendo desde redes
again, we would
sociales.
like to
Buenas
say
tardes, buenas
hello to
noches.
everybody who is
Tenemos
following
usuarios
us in our
conectados desde el
audience.
Tecnológico de La
We
Paz.
have
Les mandamos saludos. Tenemos
people
también
connected
participantes de la
from the
Universidad Autónoma de Baja
technological in La
California Sur.
Paz, also
Saludos
from the
del Caribe
University
Científico.
Autonomous of
Colóquenos, por
Baja
favor,
California
desde
Sur.
dónde están viendo esta
Please
transmisión en vivo.
let
Para
us
nosotros
know
es muy
where you are
importante
watching
saber
us
eso.
from.
Y agradecemos de forma muy especial
And
la traducción
many
simultánea
thanks
por Pilia
for
Hermosilla y
the
Canadita.
translation.
Agradecemos entonces la participación de nuestros tres panelistas y
Thank
vamos a
you to our
proceder entonces
speakers,
al
and
siguiente
let's go
paso.
ahead
En este
with
caso
the following
vamos a
step.
visualizar un video que
We
casi
are going to
segura va a venir
visualize,
muy bien
we are
para toda
going
la
to view
temática que estamos
a
abordando.
video
Es un video
which is
relacionado a las
related
actuaciones que elabora
to
y
the
diseña la empresa
actuations of
Permalucio. Así que
um,
adelante, Leo, con el video.
company
Bienvenido.
called Permalucio.
Permalution works on fog and cloud water
Oh, great.
harvesting technology innovation. Our team of world-class researchers and technical experts have developed a fog collection system comprising 3 units: the Fog Atlas, the Water Radar, and the fog collectors, allowing us to introduce a new water source to battle the world's current water crisis. We are more affordable than desalination plants, more efficient than rainwater collection, and safer than groundwater. We have developed projects in agriculture, conservation, wildfire mitigation, and climate change observation. In the near future, our COSCYT technology will allow us to harvest fog almost anywhere in the world. In the long term, we want to become a water service provider. We're looking for partners to deploy our technology worldwide. Join Permolution as we continue to bring new solutions to tackle climate and water challenges. The answer is fog.
Interesante, caray,
Very
muchísimas
interesting.
gracias a nuestros socios de Permalution por habernos
Thank
ofrecido
you
este video
to our
acerca de su
partners from
compañía y su tecnología,
Permolution
que por cierto
for
aprovechamos para
offering us
decirles
their
que ya
video.
están presentes en nuestro
So they are
estado, en Baja
already
California
present
Sur.
in
Así que
our
les mandamos
state
muchísimos
in
saludos de
Baja
parte de
California South,
Permalution.
and
Y bueno, vamos a proseguir
greetings and thank
entonces con
you.
una etapa que yo estoy
So let's
segura
go
que todo
ahead
el público que nos está escribiendo le apetece escuchar. Es la parte de preguntas. Entonces, vamos a
with
consultar
the part
de
of
qué intereses o qué
questions,
particularidades
and
para nuestra
we would
estrategia,
like
nuestra audiencia. Y
to
vamos a empezar con una
know what
pregunta que nos llega a
interest
la doctora
our
Antonina o
audience has.
Boncheva. Nos
And
preguntan
we
desde
have here
redes
a
sociales,
question for
doctora
Dr.
Antonina,
Antonia.
¿qué podemos hacer
Antonina,
desde casa en
what
Baja
can we do from
California Sur
home in
para
Baja
luchar contra
California
el cambio
Sur
climático?
to fight
Algunas
against
actuaciones
climate
prácticas que usted le
change?
pueda decir a
Any
la audiencia,
practical
doctora Antonina.
actuations that you could tell
Bueno,
us?
muchas gracias por la pregunta. Precisamente
Thank
siempre
you.
nos referimos a que no es
We
suficiente
always
con planes
say that
estatales
it's
de acción
not
climática,
enough
con
with
planes a nivel
state
municipal,
plans
etcétera, sino
or
cada familia,
municipal,
cada individuo
etc.
tiene que
Each
hacer su
family
plan
has
individual o
to
familiar para
get an
afrontar el
individual or
cambio
familiar
climático que, como
plan
vimos,
to
nos trae
combat
unas
climatic change,
consecuencias muy
which
fuertes, no
has
solo para
very
nuestra
strong
generación,
consequences not
sino
only
está
for our
amenazando
generation
directamente las
but
futuras
threatening
generaciones.
the
En
future
cuanto al tema
generations.
del que hablamos del agua,
With regards
es muy
to the
importante
water,
pues ya
it's
tomar
very
las medidas
important
como se
to
toman, por
take
ejemplo, en
measures
algunos
like
países de
they do in
sequía, El
several
Salvador, que ya está
countries,
haciéndose,
like
hay
in
una
South
comisión
Africa,
especial que se
also in
nombró
LA.
desde
There
Sudáfrica,
is
que dura 2 minutos. Entonces la
there is
recomendación es
something
que la ducha matutina no dure
so
más de
that
dos
you
minutos
have
e que canten esta
your morning
canción
shower is
ya
no
que
longer than
terminen de
2
usar el agua.
minutes.
La otra cosa
So
es no usar el agua
another thing
potable
is not to use
para
drinking water
regar enfrente de su
to
casa
water
solamente para que
in
sea más
front of your
fresquito,
house
porque lamentablemente inclusive los
just so
alumnos
that
lo
it gets a
primero
bit cooler,
que
because
ven cuando van a la escuela es
what
que el
kids see
intendente
when
está
they go
regando
to
el
school
patio
is
con
that
agua potable, con agua dulce.
somebody
La otra cosa es
is
no lavar sus
watering the
coches
patio.
con agua
And
potable,
also,
si es
please
posible usar para eso
don't
los
wash your
aguas
cars
tratados, ¿no? Y
with drinking
también
water or
vemos
treated
que
water.
inclusive en algunas familias le están
Even
dando
in
la
some
manguera a los
families, they
niños
are
para que ayude a
giving
lavar las
the
llantas y
hose
con eso pues se
to the kids so that
desperdicia
they can
muchísima agua.
clean
Hay que
the
separar muy
tires,
bien qué
and
tipo
then they
de
use a lot of water.
vegetación vamos a tener en
We
nuestros
have to
patios,
be
si es muy
careful with the kind
recomendable
of vegetation
tener
that we
árboles, ¿no? Tener vegetación,
have
pero
trains and
deberíamos de orientarnos
trees and
más hacia la
vegetation, but get
vegetación
oriented towards
nativa que consume
native
menos agua, pero por otro
vegetation that
lado
uses
también
less
se ha
water.
visto
But
que la
also,
vegetación
we have
desértica
seen
es la
that
que absorbe
desert
más del dióxido de carbono
vegetation
del aire. Entonces, en este
absorbs a
sentido,
lot
nos
of
pueden
carbon
ayudar
dioxide
los
from the air,
árboles
so they can
tanto
help
a
us
ahorrar el agua como
both to help
también
water and
usarlos como
to use
secuestradores de
them
carbono del
as
aire y ayudar a la mitigación, disminuir
carbon
la
holders,
formación de dióxido
and
de carbono
help
del
the
aire
other
como para
vegetation,
ahorrar el agua. Son
and also to save
solamente
water.
unas
So
pocas
those are just
pautas,
a few
pero si me preguntan de los
ideas.
hogares, hay mucho
But
más que se
if
puede hacer. Esto es sobre el
there's a
agua.
lot more that
No
you
tener
can
los
do from home.
electrodomésticos prendidos todo el
Don't
día,
don't have your appliances switched on all day because they use energy even if you are not using. They are not on, television on even if you're not watching it, because it also helps a lot to reduce the use of energy. Also to buy saving low energy refrigerators. And I'm going to share some web pages where you can find the recommendations that I can do with regards to this subject. Also, where you can also measure your carbon fingerprint. Your carbon print. So please, our audience, take note of all this advice shared by Dr. Antonina. So really, there's a lot we can do. Thank you very much. Next question from engineer Abel Cruz, Master of Engineering, Yesenia Alvera. She has a question. What are the obstacles that you have faced to implement your technology, and what is the process of water disinfection that can be used?
Adelante, ingeniero. Su micrófono, ingeniero Abel.
Ahora sí, disculpe, gracias.
Okay, now.
No tengo muchos obstáculos, bueno.
I haven't found a lot of obstacles. Well, one could be the economic subject that I had to implement this in some places. We are a civil association without so we installed these systems in all the communities when they call us and when we have the means. When we have carried out a few analyses and we see there's no metals nor turbidity, so these molecules of that you cannot see, they don't have any metal, any soil. Sometimes when there is dust that gets against the mesh, you also get some filters there, and you analyze the water, and that's it. And you see that it's the human grade consumption. So the way we measure it, if people need anything, they have our telephone number, and then we can go and see the place where it's going to be installed. We carry out a monitor it, and then we can leave the system working, and the person benefited. We teach them how it works and how everything works. Please let me apologies, because I have to go and teach a lesson in a few minutes. So sorry. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to have you. We know your agenda is complicated. Thanks a lot.
Por su respuesta. Seguimos en nuestra transmisión. Volvemos con el cuadro de nuestros panelistas. En este caso tenemos por ahí una pregunta que nos llega también por redes
sociales. So now we have a question for Ingeniero Mauricio Bonilla from Innovacua regarding nube technology. Would it solve the high water problem at an international scale, or is it like a micro scale solution?
Muchas gracias. Está padre la pregunta, qué bueno que me la hacen, porque sí,
great question.
Estamos exclusivamente enfocados en el agua.
We are focused on drinking water or treated water, and it's not really going to depend on us. Sometimes we want to we get confused with the solutions. Solutions about reducing climatic change and lack of water. So sometimes the 10 liters per minute of water in low pressure, 15 to 20 liters per minute. So a little shower, if it's a few minutes, then you're reaching a lot more water. But it's not like sometimes having a good shower is a moment of distressing. So it's not like we don't want to stress people to have a 2-minute shower, but to implement solutions where so that we reduce a lot the water consumption in those minutes. We have experimented with a lot of stuff. Also injecting air in the plumbing system, so in the tubes, regulating the water in the water plums, and so you can save even up to 70% of consumption. So I was in Sea of Cortez. I was in an all-inclusive.
O sea, de verdad, la huella hídrica de esos lugares ha de ser enorme por toda la gente que se baña de 2 a 3 veces al día, porque primero se meten al mar, luego para ir a cenar, luego porque se metieron a la alberca. Y no se trata de decir que ya no existen esos hoteles, porque yo no estoy en contra de la modernidad, yo no estoy en contra el desarrollo. Estoy en contra de que no se implementen tecnologías que a la fecha ya están a nuestro alcance. En esos hoteles fácilmente pudieran implementar este tipo de soluciones y generarían un 70% de ahorro en el agua. También,
so okay, so he's talking about how to reach 70% of water saving. How, like in this hotel he was discussing before. So for instance, to use in the water closet, to use treated water, that shouldn't happen anywhere. So it should be water that is from second or third use, like from washing machine, from your shower, etc. So for instance, what they were saying, don't wash your car, etc. It's something that can bring a change because it's more from your conscience. But in big hotels, they should be implementing this kind of solutions because they are making massive expenses. Not so much homes or families, working families. They are the ones that should be saving more water. If we could get them to do that, then it would be viable. So then you can generate water from the air. If we reduce consumption in a big scale, then it is doable. If 150 to 200 liters per person, we can go down to 50 or 60 per person, and then it becomes viable. And that is what we are pushing. Reduce per capita consumption, and then it's easier to reach this option of getting in hotels and corporations and in families. Water is you consider all the uses that we give to water, and give water second and third uses. Yes, it is possible to generate at a massive scale water from the atmosphere, but for that we have to reduce by 70 to 80% our water consumption.
Muchísimas gracias, ingeniero Mauricio
Okay,
Bonilla.
thank you very much.
Para este usuario de las redes sociales nos deja muy claro por allí cuál es el panorama a seguir que nos sugiere el ingeniero.
So very clear your answer.
Retomamos entonces a cuadro a
so
nuestros
let's
panelistas y también invitamos a toda la gente que nos está siguiendo desde redes sociales.
We are inviting people from our social networks to to send us your questions. Please take advantage since they are here now, so please do so. We have a question for Dr. Antonina Ivanova. You were saying that how important and transcendental the climatic change was. For Baja California South, in the area childhood, youth, how important do you think for these generations? When do you think that these subjects should be presented to students, since those generations are going to suffer it? People should be conscientious and get environmental education, and this is crucial, not only for kids and for youth, but also for third age people, also people in company levels and governmental levels. They need to implement courses, and also it's important social networks and television, having some short programs, or like now, like this kind of also institutions of higher education and secondary and primary institutions, they should each have their courses, and also additional courses to present to young people, so that they really understand the need to save energy, water, etc., to plant water, to plants that are adequate to save water. And there are projects from itinerant schools that go like from entity to entity. They go through the villages, and they present programs with different materials, audiovisual materials for the youth and not so young. And there are also contests that like to get a prize. How do you save water at home or in your school? How can you plant and get community gardens, etc.? So going from energy, water saving, to security, safety for food, how to take products that are from local consumption, so just use more what we grow in the States. So the conscientization and environmental education would optimize to be able to implement good climatic politics. So we want the youth to participate with international organization like the COPs about environmental change. In Glasgow last year, there was a massive participation of the youth, and there is very strong participation as well in the first COP, where there was a pavilion that promoted the participation of the youth in these institutions. What is important is not just that a professor or researcher talks to them about the importance, but also among the friends.
Fridays for Future, etc. Oigan de la viva voz de sus pares.
So it's good that they hear from their peers how they can participate in the climatic action in an efficient way.
Muchísimas gracias, doctora Antonina. Muy interesante la participación. Si no estamos concienciados como
Very
comunidad y
interesting.
sociedad, esto no va
The
a tener una salida.
participation, if we
Y
are
muy
not
interesante y nos deja para la
conscientious as a
reflexión el tema de los
society.
incentivos en cambio climático.
So incentives in social change. If we get an incentive, there's surely there's going to be another attitude.
Acabamos de despedir al ingeniero Abel Cruz
So
Gutiérrez
we
del
have
Movimiento Perano
just
Sin Agua, pero
said
no
goodbye
dejen de
to
enviar sus
Engineer
preguntas
Abel
por redes
Gutiérrez,
sociales. De hecho,
but please do
pueden
keep
seguir
on
enviando
asking your
preguntas,
questions,
incluso
send
también para
questions,
el ingeniero Abel
and
Cruz, que
also
nosotros
for him, for
recibimos
Engineer
llegar
Abel
de forma
Cruz, and we
diaria.
will make
Muchísimas
sure that he
gracias.
gets them.
Seguimos
Thanks
con
a
la
lot.
traducción de Pilu Hermosilla por YouTube y
Yeah,
tenemos por
I'm
aquí
still
otra
translating
pregunta
here. And we
para
have
el
here another
ingeniero
question
Mauricio
for
Bonilla.
Ingeniero
En este caso nos
Mauricio Bonilla.
preguntan desde la comunidad
In
de
this
Cabo
case,
Pulmo,
we are
aquí
asked
en Baja
from Cabo
California
Pulmo,
Sur, y le preguntan al ingeniero Mauricio, ¿cuánta energía por litro
how
se
much
requiere
energy per
para
liter
la
do you need
tecnología de nube?
for
En
the
el caso de
nube
Cabo
technology?
Pulmo, todo funciona con
In Cabo
energía
Pulmo,
solar.
everything works with
¿Qué
solar
tamaño de
energy.
sistema se necesitaría
What
para el uso del
size system
dispositivo
would you
nube
need
de forma
for the
diaria?
use of the
Vamos, el usuario está un
nube
poquito con
daily, for the
curiosidad
daily
acerca
use?
del tema energético, ingeniero
This
Mauricio.
person
Adelante.
is he's
Ok,
just interested in the energy
yo conozco muy bien la humedad relativa que
aspect,
tienen en la zona de por allá,
the
lo que es el
relative
Cabo Pulmo,
humidity of that area
y
of Cabo Pulmo.
sabiendo ese
I know
dato,
it,
podemos
and with that
estimar que van a ser entre
data,
300 y
we can
350 watts
estimate
por cada litro producido.
300 to 350 watts
Eso si lo
for
quieres
every
traducir
liter
al
produced.
costo
If you want to
contra
translate it
la
to the
CFE,
cost
pues tenemos
against the
usualmente entre
SFE,
la
the
tarifa
Commission of
está 900
Energy,
centavos el
it's
kilowatt, de 2
900
pesos el
cents per
kilowatt o hasta el
kilowatt.
de 4 pesos el kilowatt cuando es de tarifa alta, ¿no? Entonces, pues si es conectado a la red
If
con
it's
un
connected
formato
to the
bidireccional,
net
con
with a
los paneles solares,
bidirectional
pues ahí se
format
vuelve todo
to
mucho
the
más
solar
eficiente, ¿no? O
panels,
sea, prácticamente el consumo que
everything
tú estás
becomes much
teniendo
more efficient.
te lo está
The
haciendo un
consumption
poco
that
más
you
pequeño
have is making it
dependiendo de la generación que tenga solar.
it's
Si se está usando un formato de isla, como más o menos estoy
you're
entendiendo que
using
ustedes lo tienen, pues se
you're
requeriría
using
aproximadamente
less energy, like
300
you would
watts por cada
require
litro producido
300
de
watts
generación
per
fotovoltaica.
liter produced.
Entonces, y para si alguien más en el público
So
tiene una duda, ¿cuánto se
if
traduciría en
anybody
costo de
else,
litro producido en un hogar? Si
I,
tienen la tarifa baja, sería más o menos de 30
if you
centavos
have
por
a
cada litro que
low
tú produzcas.
fee, like
Si tienes la
30
tarifa
30
media,
cents
estaríamos hablando más o menos de unos
per
80
liter,
centavos. Y si
and
tienes
if
la
it's the
tarifa alta,
high one,
estaríamos
it
hablando
is
de más o
80
menos un peso con
cents. So
80
the medium,
centavos
and
por litro
no, sorry, the
producido.
high
Eso ya si ya
by
lo
a liter
comparas contra el
produced.
litro del
If
agua
you compare it
embotellada,
with
sí es
a
mucho
bottled
más
water, the
rentable, ¿no?
liter
Obviamente.
water is much more um, adequate.
Muchísimas gracias, ingeniero Mauricio Bonilla. Creo que habrá quedado satisfecho el usuario con esta pregunta que usted ha en este momento respondido. Agradecemos también por ahí a todo el público que nos está siguiendo de forma muy
Thank you,
activa en redes
everyone who is
sociales.
following, and they are very active in social networks. Please let us know where you are writing to us from. So last few questions, we have an additional question for Dr. Antonina Ivanova. The question is,
nos están contactando desde Vizcaíno y nos preguntan
question comes from Vizcaíno. What has been done in Baja California South recently to fight the climate change?
Bueno, muchas gracias
Thank you for the
se han hecho
question.
varias acciones. Bueno, el plan
Several
estatal de
actions.
acción climática se
The
hizo en 2012 y
stage plan
2013
of
con los
climatic
fondos
action
sectoriales
in
de FOR
2012 and
pero
13 with
después,
tutorials,
en
but
2016,
afterwards,
se hizo con el Banco
2016,
Interamericano de
we
Desarrollo
did it with the
el plan para ciudades
Ibero-American
dentro
Bank for La Paz. In 2017, plan with German Society of Development of
También el programa que se hizo precisamente para la Reserva de la Biosfera El Vizcaíno hace 2 años terminó y fue financiado por el Programa de Naciones Unidas para el Desarrollo. Últimamente se elaboró aquí en Baja California Sur dentro del Plan Cítrico Regional para la península de Baja California,
inaugurated
el Plan Cítrico de Baja California Sur, donde
the
también
plan
se contemplan muchas
of
acciones
Baja California Sur, where you contemplate a lot of actions to save energy, precisely related to this subject.
Y también tenemos algunas acciones
Also,
a nivel gubernamental, la Dirección General de Medio Ambiente y Recursos Naturales, que han retomado algunas acciones
they have retaken several
hace
actions
tiempo, por ejemplo, la
that should
concertación de
have
la
been
Comisión
completed time ago, like
Intersecretarial del Cambio Climático, donde
the
participan varias
in
secretarías, porque la acción climática es una acción
there's
compuesta,
several secretaries
y necesitan
participate in our
participar tanto con
commission,
agua, como
and
Secretaría
they
de
need
Energía,
to
con la SEP, con la
participate with
Educación, etcétera, etcétera. ¿No? Esto es muy importante. Y por último, ahorita se está elaborando también con Polea, una ONG de Reino Unido, se está elaborando la Ley Estatal del Cambio Climático de Baja California Sur. La Ley General de Cambio Climático para México fue elaborada en 2012 y ahora apenas estamos en este proceso, pero qué bueno que lo iniciamos para tener la Ley de Baja California Sur. Se ha hecho mucho para ordenamiento ecológico, se ha hecho recambio
Okay, sorry, I'm back. I was checked out again.
de cemento a concreto hidráulico que refleja el sol. También está permitiendo que penetre agua a los
it is allowing water to get to the underwater, to the underground, because cement doesn't allow that to be done. Also, they are reforesting springs, so that allows water to go also underwater, and also we have some actions to early alerts for populations that are a bit isolated. So, also this was one of the resolutions that came from the COP27. And so, sorry.
En el tiempo presente, sino también que se implementen los escenarios de cambio climático para que se puedan contemplar los impactos a mediano y largo plazo. Es a rasgos generales, se puede hablar mucho más sobre esto.
So I could talk a lot more about this. I'm sorry, I missed most of it. Apologies.
Definitivamente la relevancia de implementar la ley estatal de cambio
So,
en Baja California
to implement the law of environmental change at a state level is very important. It's also the risk atlases in all the municipalities of Baja California South. So, to finish this interesting conversation, greetings to all our audience, and from Facebook and from the Technological Institute of La Paz, and all of you who are leaving comments. We have one last question.
Mauricio Bonilla. Y va muy al hilo de lo que comentaba de forma concluyente la doctora Antonina. La importancia
Very related to what Dr. Antonina was mentioning. So, what happens in remote settlements? Question is, related to the nube technology, if it is installed in remote locations where atmospheric conditions of humidity are appropriate, is it not going to become a risk factor for the functionality in the long term, like when there's no access to electricity or other subjects,
El tema de
other
la electricidad
objects?
es algo que tiene que estar, ¿no? Tanto
Electricity
en formato de
is
isla, como son las
something
fotovoltaicas,
that
conectada a la red, o en
has
un
to
sistema
be
híbrido,
there,
¿no?
like
Que es
whether
con los sistemas
it's the
bidireccionales.
you're
Es la materia prima
of the
para la
grid
generación
or
del
not.
aire, aparte
It is
de
the
humedad.
raw material.
Sí hay maneras en las cuales
There are ways in
se
which
pudieran hacer
you
en
you
cualquier tipo
can
de comunidad, tanto excluida,
anywhere in any community
donde no haya un fácil
where
acceso a la
there
red,
is
sí lo
no
hemos
access to
logrado
the
resolver.
grid,
En el tema de
we
electricidad
have been able
no
to
va a haber
solve
tanto
it.
problema. Lo que es importante
So electricity is not such a
principalmente en las
problem.
zonas en las que
What is
se
important
comenta
in
para hacer esta
remote
pregunta en esas zonas, lo importante es la
areas,
cultura que vaya a haber para
what
el
is
uso. Y
important
para
is
empujar
the
un poquito
culture
esa
that you have
conciencia, lo que hemos
for the
estado
use. So for
diseñando
that,
para en esas zonas
what we
donde
have
ya hemos
designed,
instalado a través de clubs rotarios
where we
o de
have
otras
already
instituciones,
installed
es la
our
instalación
system,
de un
is
lector de QR en la máquina
to have a
para que
QR
cada
reader,
usuario que vaya a
so
tener
that each
acceso al
user
agua
that has access
esté
to
limitado
water
hacia
is
cierta cantidad de
limited
litros que en
to certain
conjunto con la
amount of
comunidad se
liters,
haya
which as a
acordado
whole
para que no haya un abuso.
has been
De nada sirve si
agreed,
es
so
una
that there's no
comunidad de 1000
abuse.
personas, instalamos una
It's a
máquina
community
de
of
10,000
1,000
litros de cada
people, and
1
we
de
are
litros diarios.
installed like
De
for
nada sirve
10,000 liters.
si de repente va a llegar alguien y va a
If
llenar
there is
3,
someone
4
who is going
bidones, ¿no?
to just
Y haga un
use
abuso
4 or
en cuanto al
5
consumo. Entonces, con el lector de QR,
containers of
cada
water,
usuario puede
that's an
revisar
abuse.
QR
But with
y
the
se van
reader, with the
habilitando
meter,
cierta cantidad de litros diarios para que cada quien
you
vaya
allocate
sabiendo
certain
y
liters
los vaya administrando
per day,
cada
so
24
that
horas
they
en
know
la
how to
nube, ¿no? Vamos a
administrate
decirlo
and
con el
use
ejemplo
them.
que puse ahorita. Son
For
10 litros por
instance,
persona porque la máquina
10
puede hacer
liters
1000
per
litros
person,
diarios.
so
Entonces
that
tú
the
agarras los
machine
10 litros que te tocan en ese día y el día
you grab
siguiente
your
se te
10
vuelven a
liters,
renovar.
and the
Y así es un
following day
consumo
you get
inteligente,
other
es un
10
consumo
liters, like
consciente y al
in the
mismo
example of
tiempo es
10,000
en una
liters for a
conciencia para que
thousand
nuestros administren mejor. Ahí es
people
cuando
population.
ya es un caso exitoso.
So
Y es lo que más empujamos nosotros. ¿De
what
qué
we are
manera
pushing the
hacerlo en
most
calidad
is
exitoso? Por lo que
how
ahorita
to
comentaba, que
make
hay que
this
cuidar muchísimo la
successful.
curva
We
de la
have
aceptación
to
de esta
make sure
innovación,
that
¿no?
people
Hay que
accept this
cuidarla, hay que cuidar que no haya
innovation. We have
decepción,
to
hay
be
que cuidar
careful.
morosos, que la tengan que estar
We
satisfechos, que la
have
misma boca
to
en boca
make
sea
sure that
positiva
everybody is
y a la vez
satisfied,
vayamos haciendo
and
más masivo
the mouth
la
to mouth is
adopción de esta
positive, and
tecnología y
the
cada
system,
vez
our
en
technology is
conjunto con
adopted
esta
more and
adopción,
more,
en paralelo,
and
vayamos
as a whole
aumentando
and
su
in
eficiencia y
parallel,
reduciendo
we
sus costos.
increase
Claro,
the
con la economía de escala,
efficiency and
que son
reduce
las metas que
the
tenemos en los siguientes
expenses,
5 años, ¿no?
which is
Estamos
our aim
aplicando
for
nuevas
the following 5
tecnologías, estamos
years.
desarrollándolas en nuestra parte
So
de laboratorio aquí en Monterrey
we are
y
developing our
tenemos
laboratory part here in
más o menos
Monterrey,
proyectado que para el año
and we have
2024
projected
logramos
that
reducir
from
en 30% el consumo
2024
energético de nuestra
we are
máquina
going
por
to
medio de este
reduce
tipo de
30%
tecnología y a la par
the
también
consumption,
es reducirle el
and
peso
also
a la
to
máquina con la
reduce
nueva
the
tecnología que
price
estamos
of the
implementando en los
machine. With the new
desarrollos va a
technology,
tener un peso 30% menor también y eso
the
ayuda
price is also
muchísimo
going
para
to
el
be
transporte,
30%
ayuda muchísimo para
less,
la
and
instalación
it's going to help
y
with
hacia eso es donde
transport,
nosotros
with
queremos seguir yendo, ¿no?
installations,
Le apuntamos
and that's where we
nosotros
want to go.
a nuestro crecimiento hacia mejorar la
So
tecnología,
what we
hacerla más
want is to
accesible en
improve
tanto a
our
costo de
technology, make it more
mantenimiento, al
accessible
precio público y a la
regarding
vez
cost
en el
and
costo
maintenance,
que
and
conlleva lo que es la electricidad, ¿no? Entonces,
also in
sí, cada vez nos vamos
electricity.
acercando más al punto en el
We
cual
are
para
getting closer
nosotros
to the point
el futuro
where,
de la
for
solución del
us,
agua es la generación
the
de agua de la
future is
electromovilidad.
going to be solved by the
Muchísimas
water problem is
gracias,
going to be solved
ingeniero
by this
Mauricio. Sin
technology.
duda también nos
Thank you
coloca un
very much,
escenario muy
engineer.
amplificado a lo que
A
implica,
very amplified
obviamente, también la
scene of
evolución,
what is
¿no?, de la
implied by the
tecnología de Innovacqua,
evolution
¿no? Muy
of
interesante por
the
ahí
technology
su
of
parecer, su juicio.
Innovacqua.
Y con esto vamos entonces
And
a
with this,
proceder a
we are going
cerrar,
to close
desafortunadamente, ya el espacio de preguntas y respuestas.
our
Pueden seguir
question and
visualizando
answer
el video, se va a quedar en
time.
redes
You can
sociales y con un
keep
formulario
it's going
preguntado
to be
se
in
les
the
harán llegar
networks,
a
in the social
nuestros
networks,
panelistas
and in
especialistas.
videos.
Sin duda
And
ha
we
sido
want to
una
thank
tarde, creo
very
que
much
muy
our
enriquecedora,
our speakers. It's been very enriching, very interesting. We have spoken about the benefits of working as a community, the impact of climate change that Baja California Sur is going to face because of lack of water, because of drought, and also because of flooding. We touch another subject, the incidence of technology in Mexico is so important that it should be implemented in a massive way. So we have to also be able to face challenges and take them in a massive way to all the users. Lots of challenges. So a very generous evening for all of those who have been watching us through YouTube and social networks, to whom we say we greet, and we are going to proceed to finish with to give you our some diplomas and because of for your participation today. So here you have a projection of the one that for Dr. Antonina Ivanova.
En este caso se otorga el presente reconocimiento a la doctora Antonina Ivanova Boncheva por su valiosa participación en el conversatorio virtual Más agua para BCS, captación de agua en la atmósfera y cambio climático, compartiendo el tema agua y cambio climático de forma específica.
Basically thanking her for her participation and thank you for being a part of the scientific networks and working to find solutions to the water problem. It is this diploma is signed by a few people that you see their signatures down below.
Directora del Consejo Subcaliforniano de Ciencia y Tecnología, una servidora, y la licenciada Paulina Godoy Aguilar, directora de programas del Instituto COSCYT.
And it's also signed by Paulina Godoy and by Doctora María Reyes. And there's another one like this for the engineer Mauricio Bonilla, and it has the same information in it. Thank you very much as well for being with this. And we also have a third diploma for Ingeniero Abel Cruz, who had to leave us, but he has been with us, and he has been great during the whole podcast. I don't want to close this webinar and thanking everyone who is behind cameras and who have made it possible to produce this webinar. Thank you, especially the technical control, and all the people that collaborate with us. Tatiana Davis from the CONAGUA, Doctora Sara Diaz from COSCYT, Ingeniera Cristina Talamantes, Paulina from the Baja Coastal Institute, and at the University of Baja California Sur. It's been a pleasure to have this podcast today. And please don't forget, our last podcast is next Monday, November 28th at 5 o'clock. Please don't forget to write it down in your agenda because it's going to be a very interesting subject. Desalination. How to learn about costs, benefits, and impact of desalination. Very interesting subject, interesting for all of us. It's our last seminar, so please don't miss it. Ingeniero Mauricio with all his friends. Thank you, Dr. Antonina. A pleasure to have you all. Thank you for your invitation. Pleasure.
Muchísimas gracias, doctora Antonina. El honor fue nuestro. Y también me despido del ingeniero Mauricio Bonilla. Muchísimas gracias por haber estado
Mauricio Bonilla, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Thanks. Thank you to you.
También les mandamos saludos al ingeniero Abel Cruz, que está
Greetings to Ingeniero Abel Cruz from Peru.
ustedes que forman parte de nuestra audiencia, muchísimas gracias. Que pasen una muy bonita
everybody have a great evening. Goodbye from the academic department of Earth Sciences from the University Autónoma of Baja California South. Production of CONAGUA, COSCYT, and BCI, and the University of Baja California South. Great evening and night. Have a great time.
Muchas gracias. Adiós.